Hey my friend, good morning. Today we've got some hip mobility. So if you're dealing with some tightness in the hips, some stiffness, then this is the video for you. We're going to be working two potent exercises today for the hips. We're going to come down in our Sawa or 90-90 position. So we're sitting with one leg, the front leg here, in the external rotation position, and then the back leg is in the internal rotation position. So the first thing we're going to do here is just come down, sit in this position right here, place the hands behind our back, and we're going to do some switches, some horizontal Sawa or 90-90 switches. And when we do these switches, we want to open up that internal leg to external rotation as wide as we can until it naturally pulls the other leg over into internal rotation. Just start off with your hands on the mat here. Use that assistance. And if this is a lot for you, if just sitting in the Sawa position is a good stretch, then just sit in the position for 30 to 60 seconds and then alternate those sides and switch to the other side. And once you have the basic switch here, then you can go ahead and feel free to remove the assistance of the hands and just work on that core strength and hip strength in the movement here in the switch. Again, this is going to help to open up the rotations in the hips, that external and internal rotation. And without the hands there, it's also going to help to strengthen those motions as well. But again, just make sure that you are opening up the hips and allowing that external rotation to pull the internal rotation over. Here we're going to do a little bit of kind of like a pigeon stretch, and then I'm going to lean back and lift that internally rotated foot off the ground. So we're going to bring our chest down towards our knee or shin, hold that for a few seconds, and then we're going to work on lifting that internal rotation, lifting the foot off the ground. And it's totally fine if your foot does not come off the ground there. It's actually a pretty difficult exercise. So this is a way to take the 90-90 or the Sawa up a notch. Let's go and switch it to the other side. And again, I'm going to work on that external rotation, bringing the chest down towards the knee or shin. If you go down towards the knee, that'll be a little bit easier, a little bit nicer. The closer you get to the foot, the more intense that stretch gets. You're going to see how I'm extending my hands towards my back foot there. That's again just going to help to lock in that hip to internal rotation and get a little bit better pull on that foot as you try to lift it off the mat. Again, I've been doing this for a while. When I first started, I was not able to get my foot off the mat. So it's not a big deal. You're still getting the benefits, the strength benefits, even if your foot does not come off the mat there. So I typically like to do this for 5 to 10 repetitions, and before I move on to the next exercise. So get a few rotations, and we can also go into some hip extensions if you wanted to spice this one up a little bit more. So go into your switch and then come up to that hip rotation. You can use your hands for assistance on the hip extension. That's totally cool. Or if you want to challenge yourself, take the assistance of the hands away for a little bit more intensity. All right, we're going to move on to our second exercise, which is going to be a low lunge position here. And this is going to be targeting the hip flexors on both legs. We're going to get some flexion in the post of the leg and some hip extension on the extended leg. I like to rep this one out, just hold it. You can floss it a little bit for about 8 to 10 reps, and then you can hold it for 10 seconds on that last rep. Or you can just do a static stretch here, which is what I'm doing right here. And you can come up, get that torso straight up, and really let the hips sink into the ground. I'm going to put a little rotation here to really hit that quad. I'm going to grab my rear foot with the same side hand that is with the leg that's posted and open up the chest here. I'm going to turn this around here in a few seconds so you can get another view of the opening of the chest. I'm going to go ahead and switch sides, posting that right foot. Again, we want to drive those hips towards the ground to really open up the hip flexors. So with these two exercises, we're really hitting all the basic functions of the hips. We're hitting the external and internal rotation. We're hitting the flexion and the extension in the hip flexors. And while you're maintaining balance here, you're also working on stabilizing this position, and that's helping to increase strength. We don't want to just do passive stretching. We want to make sure that the muscles are engaged, and that's going to help to improve strength and flexibility, and that's where we're improving our overall mobility. So look how I reach around to grab my rear foot, and then I open up that chest, get some extension, keep the shoulders back and down. And if this one is too much for you, then just skip it for now. But this is going to help to get a little bit more stretch in that quad and hip flexor area of my back leg. So there we have it. 2 great hip mobility, hip flexibility, hip strengthening exercises that you can cycle into a routine. Just work this about 2 to 3 times a week, and just work about 2 to 3 sets when you're working this out. It's great to do as a warm-up, daily warm-up, or right before your strength or cardio workout. And now just kind of sit here in the squat, do a little prayers, some knee openers, just kind of play around with opening up the hips a little extra. Well, thanks so much. Hit the like button, comment below, subscribe to Back to Primal, and I'll see you back here next time.